Hello, my fellow gamers on a budget. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm not doing a review of Mortal Kombat like I normally do reviews. I'm actually going to be just predicting what Mortal Kombat 11 will be like. I like to do predictions, and this is actually my first one, so yeehaw, we've reached another milestone here at Gamer on a Budget. So, for those of you who don't know, Mortal Kombat is a fighting genre video game in which you play as a multiple list of combatants fighting for the fate of Earthrealm, which is basically just modern-day Earth, mixed in with a lot of kung fu type deals. It got its start with the Super Nintendo, which is where I first played it. It was actually the first game I ever played, and it's one of my favorite series. It's developed by NetherRealm Studios, and NetherRealm Studios is currently owned by Warner Brothers. So Mortal Kombat, it's a pretty good series. I mean, it's had 10 installments, and it's set up to have its 11th installment in 2019. The trailer for the 11th installment was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. Basically, what you would take away from it if you were a Mortal Kombat expertise is that there's a lot of color palette swaps and different looking characters. And although they're the same characters, they just look different. That's what I mean by different looking. On top of that, there is alternate version of Shao Kahn, it appears. And if you don't know what Shao Kahn is, he is the main bad guy in the series. He basically just wants to take over all of Earthrealm and the world, really. So, for my prediction for what the trailer's all about and kind of what it all means, I gotta go back to Mortal Kombat 9. And Mortal Kombat 9 was a reboot of the Mortal Kombat series. It was just called Mortal Kombat, like the original. However, the gaming community recognizes it as Mortal Kombat 9, so I'll be referring to it as Mortal Kombat 9. As well as Mortal Kombat 10, it's called Mortal Kombat X, but it's Mortal Kombat 10, so I'll be referring to that as Mortal Kombat 10. So in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 9, you basically have a scene where Shao Kahn is beating the hell out of Raiden, who is the Thunder God, Guardian of Earthrealm, and he's winning. You know, Shao Kahn has won. Basically, he's more powerful than the Elder Gods at this point. Nothing can really stop him, and it's over. It's over for Earthrealm, and it's over for life in general. So Shao Kahn wins, and Raiden sort of sends a message back in time, or so at the time I thought it was back in time, to the other Raiden that he can't let this happen. He can't let Shao Kahn win. So then throughout the course of Mortal Kombat 9, Raiden kind of does the same things he did in the series so far, except he does them a little bit different, you know, to try to avoid the future, basically. So, where it kind of gets interesting for me, I think, is at the beginning of Mortal Kombat 10, is which you have a whole new timeline. You have a bunch of new characters, a bunch of characters you've never seen before. For example, Cassie Cage, who is the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. And you also have Kenshi's son, and just several other characters that basically were not in the other timeline because none of these characters bothered to reproduce because they were so busy fighting, basically. So the current timeline's a lot happier than the older timeline. But they're not timelines. That's what I've come to accept. They're not timelines. They're alternate dimensions. And that's where the premise of Mortal Kombat 11 comes in. It's that the characters from the alternate dimension, such as Shao Kahn, the one who's now more powerful than the other gods, are probably going to rip through into the current dimension. So, as for example, you have Dark Raiden in the current dimension, while you have Good Raiden in the other dimension, assuming that he isn't dead. So you could possibly get a matchup of, you know, current Good Raiden, current Dark Raiden versus the alternate dimension's Good Raiden, which would be a cool matchup. On top of that, the main bad guy is going to be Shao Kahn. That much is just obvious. He was more powerful than the Elder Gods. He's basically going to be the most powerful bad guy since Blaze in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. If you're a big Mortal Kombat fan, then you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, he's going to be a huge bad guy in it. He's probably going to bring about, alternate versions of Liu Kang with him, alternate versions of every character, assuming they're not dead, which I think they might be, because the last time we saw them, they were pretty much dead. But in this reality, Liu Kang's actually evil. So that's interesting. In the other reality, he's dead and or just really, really injured. and in this reality, he's evil. So you might get to see good Liu Kang fighting evil Liu Kang, just like, you know, good Raiden fighting Dark Raiden. And Dark Raiden's not necessarily not good, he's just more brutal. But Shao Kahn's definitely going to be the main bad guy. He's going to be a hard bad guy. I'm pretty sure the final battle is going to be between Dark Raiden and Shao Kahn. But then again, who knows what kind of variations there's going to be. There might be a variation of Raiden where he can switch between dark and light and just all that. As far as the gameplay goes, obviously I don't know much about it. I don't think they'll be returning to the 3D style of fighting where you can move in 4 directions ever. Just because it's not that good for the Mortal Kombat series. I like the 2D style of fighting. It makes the game a lot more strategic. You have to be, you know, you have to know your moves, you have to know your character, you have to know your opponent, and you have to just know the game all around. Plus, it's faster-paced fighting. In the 3D version of fighting, if someone wanted to, they could literally just dodge all your attacks and make the fight last, well, forever, or until the timer ran out, which you can set the timer to infinite, so who knows how long the fight could last. And that's pretty much it. I hope we have a lot more characters, and I know there's a lot of videos out there that say, oh, there's going to be 30 characters, there's going to be 50 characters. I don't really put a lot of stock into those videos, and like this, you probably shouldn't put a lot of stock into this video, although I do believe this is a safe prediction. I've honestly heard this prediction before, and I just believe it to be true. I've played every single Mortal Kombat game in the franchise, and this is where I see the franchise heading. It's kind of like where the Marvel movies are heading, you know? After they beat Thanos, they're just going to have to go into the dimensions, you know, to find worse bad guys. And that's basically what's going to happen, is you're going to be moving through dimensions, fighting alternate versions of each character, and, you know, just kind of, you know, trying to beat the Shao Kahn that has become more powerful than the other gods. Kind of like Injustice. If you played the newer Injustice. Well, actually not like Injustice, because there was only one alternate character in Injustice, and that was the Cyborg guy. But yeah, that's basically my entire prediction. I don't really think I need to add in anything else. If I did, it would just be to make the video last longer. So, to all my gamers on a budget out there, do what you do best, save some money, keep gaming.